Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains discussion video. I feel like I've done 5 of these videos in the last 3 days, but Yu-Gi-Oh! LABO, for those that don't know, aired a little less than 12 hours ago, and it gave us some incredible screenshots of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains, and what I mean by that is we just have not seen really much from Yu-Gi-Oh! LABO. We haven't seen much from Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains. It gave us not really a trailer. I know I titled it Trailer Analysis, but it was more the first episode preview, which, to be honest, I would have rather seen the first episode preview than the trailer for VRains, especially with only a week to go. If you want to see my thoughts on that, feel free to, I will link it down below. It'll probably be a suggested video, or just head to my channel. It's the most recent video I've uploaded. But this, we also did get a lot of screenshots. We also got some more dialogue from Yusaku, from Kusanagi. Really, and this is probably going to be the main talking point of the video, I just wanted to have a discussion with you guys about all the new information we've gotten about Emma's character. You know, there was a picture we got of her that was taken kind of interestingly, and I'll compare it to 2 Arc 5 characters, and it could kind of show off the character that Emma will be. We got a great clip of Revolver doing something that looked really awesome. I will show you that clip. And we also got Aoi's voice actress speaking. We also got Kusanagi's voice actor and Yusaku's voice actor. I will be bringing you Aoi's voice actress, and I will link the entire Yu-Gi-Oh! LABO episode down below. It's on Daily Motion, so I definitely suggest, it's not subbed, and unfortunately the interview probably won't be subbed for quite some time, so yeah, that kind of is a shame, but we're going to start right off the bat with something that DMC translated, and it is a brief conversation, and it's a brief conversation that Kusanagi and Yusaku have. Now, JUGram1000 sent this to me on Twitter. He sends me all this stuff, and DMC is the one who translated it, so big shout out to him for always keeping me in the loop. A lot of times I'll just get excited when he sends me dialogue, and I tweet it, and I don't even give him credit, so I do apologize to that, but I do appreciate being sent the information. So here's what Shoichi says, Kusanagi: "If that didn't happen, you'd probably still be able to have fun with dueling. Sorry for dragging you into this, Yusaku." And then Yusaku says, "I'm doing this on my own volition," which, if you don't know, that just means my own will. So I'm doing this on my own will. "I'll wreak vengeance on the people who stole your brother and my past." Then you can see he wrote "damn," and I was like, wow, and I immediately tweeted about it, and I'm like, this is exactly, it's going to be right off the bat a serious show, seemingly a mature show, seemingly probably the most mature protagonist we've had in Yusaku, and I have to say, this is such a different vibe than Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, and I'm not trying to say, you know, whether Arc 5 was better or Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains is better, just completely objectively here. The Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains theme is think about it, Arc 5, what was the theme with Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5? It was to entertain people, it was to bring smiles through dueling. Now we have Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains, which, based on this line, seems like the polar opposite. It seems like dueling is used as a tool of war, where our main protagonists, where you had Yuma who loved to duel, Judai who loved to duel, Yusei liked to duel, Yugi loved to duel, Yuma loved to duel. Yusaku does not like dueling, or he's unable to have fun with it, which means he probably thinks it's a burden, and that's why the screenshots we've seen of him, some screenshots you're probably seeing right now, he looks so disinterested in almost every clip we've seen. The only time he was smiling was at the end of the preview when he's kind of looking over the sunset. I'll probably show that for you right now as well. And it's interesting with this clip because a lot of people are comparing it to the final clip of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, where Yusei is kind of staring over Neo Domino City. Of course, that was at night, and that was, you know, a little different, I guess, but it's kind of similar where they're staring over the city. And that's the only clip we've seen Yusaku smiling in. And I don't know if that's going to be at the end of episode 1. I don't know if that's I was going to say if that's a major foreshadow to the end of the show, to how the show is going to end. There's no way. The show's not going to end probably till 2020. There's no way that they already have that planned out. But it's just very interesting to note that he seems not amused by much. He seems annoyed. He seems almost disinterested, and it's because he doesn't like dueling. And you notice that he doesn't dispute this statement from Kusanagi. Instead, he defends it to a degree, and he says, "I'm doing this on my own volition. I'll wreak vengeance." How many times do you hear the main protagonist say, "I'm going to wreak vengeance. I want the people who stole my past. I want the people who stole your brother to suffer"? I mean, Yusaku has a bloodthirst right now, and we don't know if he's referring to the Knights of Hanoi. He could be referring to Soul Technology, which, by the way, it is not SOL Technology. I have been wrong about that. A few people have corrected me. It's Soul Technology, so I do apologize about that. We don't know if Soul Technology did this. We don't know if the Knights of Hanoi did this. Maybe it's a different group. Maybe he doesn't know who did this, because if someone stole his past, you wonder what he means by that, because if someone still has past memories, how would he know the people that did this to him? Or maybe he's been lied to and he's going after the wrong group. There's a lot of possibilities that could come from this. Another really interesting thing to note is you wonder if Kusanagi's younger brother is being held hostage, or you wonder if his brother has been killed off. And I know you might say, oh, Dylan, there's no way they'd kill off his brother. Well, look up Toby from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds and then get back to me on that. They're not above doing something as dark and as sinister as that. So you just wonder how, dark this show is going to get right off the bat. Because this is the first time ever that the protagonist, again, does not like dueling, and that he is doing this for a bloodthirst to try to take down a group, which I think is crazy. Now, to me, I love it. I love, the last 6 years, I know a lot of people will say, I wish Yuma wasn't the protagonist in Zexal. I wish it was Yuto. Some people said that. But I would argue that I think that Yuma was kind of necessary for the story to work in Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. He was that guy that had the Katabingo spirit and the never give up attitude that kind of was able to bring the VRains and bring Astro World together. And it was because of his positivity that contributed to a lot of that, at least in my opinion. So I don't know if someone as, not dark, but as someone as more serious like Yuto would have been able to thrive in that kind of environment. While I didn't love Yuma, he did get a lot more tolerable towards the end of the show. And it's funny because, I've been saying it for a long time that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is best when it has dark themes. And I don't want the show to, be killing off 5 characters every episode, but when the show is darker and more serious, the show is better. Why do you think that, there's people that I've talked to that despise Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, that hate it, that don't even consider it a Yu-Gi-Oh! Show. And, I like to have, because I like all the Yu-Gi-Oh! Shows, and I like to have mature conversations as I possibly can with those people, but 9 times out of 10, they'll say, the last 20 episodes were pretty good, I gotta give them that. And why is that? It's because that Barry and Onslaught arc, even to people that hate Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, that Barry and Onslaught arc was fantastic. Why? Because it was dark, it was serious, it was mature. Even Yuma was a much more mature character at that point in the show. And I think that Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal's real issue was Yuma, was people being able to connect to Yuma. I know that was a real issue of mine. And if Yuma was a more, to me, likable protagonist, I'm not trying to, take shots at Zexal or Yuma or anything. I would think Zexal would be perceived by the Western audience over here in the United States and Europe as the best Yu-Gi-Oh! We've had so far. I really do believe that. But because, and the English dub didn't help, but because Yuma was tough for me to relate to, it was tough for a lot of people to relate to, and the beginning of Zexal was a little silly, that is kind of where I think a lot of people got turned off. You have Yoshida, who did write, I thought, a good show in Zexal, given what he was given. Now you have Yoshida almost writing a similar show with the serious aspects, except the protagonist seems to be a lot more serious, a lot more mature, and it's almost like it's Zexal except minus Yuma with maybe a more widely relatable protagonist. And if that's the case, Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains, we should all be very, very excited about. So it's only a couple lines of dialogue, guys, but it's something that gets me very excited, and hopefully it's something that gets you very excited. It's just going to be weird seeing a protagonist that really doesn't like dueling. We've never seen that since Season 4 Judai during Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, where Judai was really, at that point, he didn't love dueling as much, until he dueled Yugi and Atem, of course, in the final episode. So you wonder if this show is going to be not about, bringing smiles to everyone or about the never give up attitude, but it's going to be about Yusaku trying to have fun with dueling again, which will be very, very interesting to watch. It'll also be very unique to watch, so I'm very excited to see that potential plotline play out. Now, I'm going to play you a quick clip of Aoi's voice actress, and then I'll give my thoughts on that. So here is Aoi's voice actress.
ありがとうやっほーイエーイ
続いては優作の同級生財前葵
Very high-pitched. I am aware of that. When I first heard it, I'm like, because I was watching live, I was like, I don't know if I really love that. That's kind of a little squealy, but to be fair to her, And to be fair to the character, I think this is much more so Blue Angel. I do not think she is voicing Aois Aizen in this scene. I think she's voicing Aoi's VR form Blue Angel. Keep in mind, Blue Angel is an entertainment duelist, She is an idol. She is supposed to be cute and adorable, except we know her dueling style is probably going to be pretty opposite of that based on the mini bio we got a couple nights ago, where it's like, is her dueling going to be as, adorable as she is? Question mark. Obviously not. They wouldn't ask the question if that wasn't the case, and we know Trickstars is a burn deck. It's a vicious deck to play. I've played it a couple times, verse it, and it's a vicious deck to play against, so I think it's going to be kind of a split personality even within her VR form there, where her deck is a lot more brutal and kind of slow burn and not cutesy, where she, as her person, is cutesy. And we hear Aoi's voice actress talk normally, and if she talks normally, it's a much more mellow down and kind of more boring and bland, which I think would fit her character perfectly. I think it would fit Aoi perfectly, and if she has this high-pitched voice for Blue Angel, don't really have a problem with it. So now I'm going to show you a scene that we got of Revolver. So we see Revolver summon a monster maybe, but he doesn't have a dual disc out, so I'm not sure. And then we see a really weird pillar surrounded by some weird rainbow-esque circle. I'd like to believe that this is the Knights of Hanoi hideout, that this is the Knights of Hanoi base. I'm not quite sure, because then the same background, this green cloudy background, is the background that we got this AI in. And you can almost see something in the top left. It's like a blue spirit almost. I don't know if that's supposed to be there or if that's supposed to resemble something. There's also fire on the ground. I don't know what the hell is going on here. I really don't. But it looks absolutely awesome. Revolver, the more I look at him, I thought he was a cool looking guy at first, and I still do believe he's a cool looking guy. But the more I look at him, the more menacing he just becomes with that mask and that like no mouth, no eyes almost, and no face. It's very creepy. We also got a picture right here of him and a guy, and this is a very confusing picture to me, because when I first saw it, I'm like, is this Revolver's human form? Because you figure he does have a human form unless he lives in the AI world and doesn't have a human form, which would be kind of weird. And then I was like, there is no way that they would do a reveal like that at this point before an episode is even aired. A Revolver face reveal could be a huge plot twist, 50, 100, even 130 episodes into VRains. There's no way they're showing off his human form. This is definitely Spectre or Bishop. They are both characters who we do not know of that are speaking in the very first episode. I would bet a lot of money that it is one of those two characters. Which one is it? There's no point in even guessing, because it's a complete shot in the dark. The guy looks menacing. He looks evil. He doesn't look creepy. He doesn't look creepy like an alien, almost like Revolver looks, not human. And the Knight of Hanoi, who has the mask, he doesn't have a mask. He's showing his face right in the open. So that's kind of weird, unless that's his human form, and his VR form is going to be kind of a little more sinister like Revolver's, and a little more maybe unnatural like Revolver's, and that unnamed Knight of Hanoi is, who's riding Cracking Dragon. So that'll be interesting to see. We have a picture of Emma here. And here's the connection I made on Twitter. You can see it's very similar. That's why the purple dark lighting in the background, the purple dark fog, made me immediately think, oh, she's evil. When I'm watching it live, they're scrolling up on her character, and I'm like, oh, wow, they are. And I'm waiting for her to crack an evil smile or squint a little bit, do something that shows she's a little bit menacing, but she doesn't. And that's why I'm still very torn on this. I've made the tweet, so I guess I have to kind of go all in that she is going to be an evil character. But if you just look at her face, if you change the background and you make the background a more positive, like brightly colored background, her face does not say, oh yeah, I'm evil at all. It's just because of the background, and it's just because of the association we have with the Arc 5 characters, like Yuri and like the Tyler twins. So, especially Yuri, especially in the Asuka duel. It was almost the same purple background they're using here. But I just don't know if she is going to be evil. I don't know if she's going to work for SOL, or Soul Technology, or maybe she's going to be a Knight of Hanoi. Maybe she's just going to be her own kind of thing. I really don't know. I was just waiting for that classic Yugioh, just break out into an evil smile or squint your eyes a little bit. Like, do something to change that innocent face, but she didn't do it. So I can't really put my finger on it, because again, you look at the background and you say, oh, she's evil. You don't look at the background, you just look at her face and you say, oh, she seems like a genuinely nice person. So I just don't know with her. I really can't put my finger on what role she's going to be and if she's even going to be an evil character or not. We also got a scene of Naoki, the fish guy, talking with Yusaku. Yusaku the whole time looks very disinterested. It doesn't look like this guy is going to be a bully, unless he is bullying Yusaku here, and we just don't. We didn't get that vibe. And keep in mind, when they showed all these clips, they were talking over it. It's not like we heard audio. The only audio we heard regarding VRains was when the voice actors were saying their lines, and during the episode preview, the 30-second episode preview. So it was a jam-packed episode of LABO. Thank you to them for really giving us so much information. I cannot wait to talk to you guys about all this down below. I'm so excited to hear from all of you, and I hope to talk to you down below. I hope you leave your thoughts down below. Give the video a like. It really does help out the channel. I never ask for likes, so I would really appreciate it. But yeah, only less than a week, guys. I'm so excited. Have an amazing day, everyone. Thank you for watching.